Happy Gen Lyme Day. This is Brooke at Generation Lyme, and I'm going to give this 1 or 2 minutes, make sure a few people have a chance to start, and then we'll get moving. Thanks to the 2 Graces who joined right away. I see you. Hey, Katie. Hi, Eileen. Okay. Well, this is wonderful. It's 3 minutes after 4 Eastern Time, and let me briefly explain what we're going to do in this next 30 minutes. This session is called Community Q&A, and I love this session because this is a time when we get to highlight community members at Generation Lyme, and I will be asking each of them 3 questions over a 5-minute period. The questions will not be too difficult, but I'm sure we will have some wonderful answers from members of the community. So in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to invite onto the Instagram Live one of our amazing community members. Her name is Grace, and I will pose 3 questions to her over the subsequent 5 minutes, and then we'll invite the next community member on screen. So I'm really looking forward to this, and thanks in advance to all the participants and to all of you who are tuning in to see members of your community answer these cool questions. All right, so I'm going to give this about 30 or 45 more seconds, and then I'm going to invite Grace on screen and we'll have a quick conversation.
Hi.
Hi, Grace. Hi, happy
Hello.
Gen Lyme Day. How are you?
Happy Lyme Day. I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I am also doing awesome. Even better now that you're on screen. It's
Oh,
a really
thanks.
special day for you and for me, and I'm really grateful that you wanted to be a part of this session. So thank you for doing this.
Of course.
All right, Grace. Well, you're a total superstar, and everyone's about to find out why. I'm going to ask you 3 questions over the next couple of minutes, if that's okay with you.
Okay. I think I can handle 3
Okay.
questions, I think.
Here, I know you can. You're a rock star. So here's question number 1. Tell the Instagram Live audience, what is your name, where do you live, and how have you been affected by Lyme disease?
My name is Grace. I am from Columbus, Ohio, and I got sick with Lyme disease at 16 years old, and I've been dealing with the effects of that ever since at 22. And I am now trying to take my experience and make it, you know, something good. And that's why I love being a part of this community, because I feel like I get to do that. So, yeah.
And you're an amazing member of this community. Thank you so much for all you've done to give back to other people like me and other folks that we know who've been affected by Lyme. You're a real tremendous inspiration to us all. All right. Second question for you, Grace. Tell us about your involvement in the Generation Lyme community, and what does this community mean for you?
So I host two special topic meetups. I host the women's meetup every Sunday, and then I also host college meetup every fourth Friday. And this community has given me a purpose again, I think. When I found this community, I was very sick, very down in the dumps, I guess. So I've been able to connect with people, and that's been an invaluable experience for me. And just being able to be a part of something bigger than me has been very helpful in this process of having Lyme disease. So I love hosting the meetups. I'm very grateful that I get to do it, and it's my favorite thing to do. Out of all the other projects that I do, it's still my favorite. So,
what a fabulous answer! You're an amazing host of meetups. Anyone who comes to your meetups, I would consider very lucky people, and so thank you for doing that. I'm thrilled that you enjoy it so much.
Yeah, me too.
All right, last question, Grace. If you could say anything to Lyme disease patients right now on Instagram Live, what would that be?
I mean, there's a lot I could say, but I think the one most important thing I would say is to keep having hope. I think that hope is the thing that, keeps us moving forward. And if you need to lean on people, that's what's amazing about this community, is we get to lean on each other and kind of sit in it with each other. I love to say that because I think that's the truth. Don't, you know, don't ever feel like you can't get through this, because there are people who want you to get through it, and we want you to get through it. So we're rooting for you for sure. That's what I would say.
That's amazing. It feels so special that I get to listen to you say that, and I'm sure everyone who's watching this live feels equally inspired. So thank you, Grace, so much for your words of encouragement. Well, that was easy. You rocked, and thank you so much for being a participant and be willing to sort of kick off the community Q&A. I believe you know the next person who's going to participate in this. Is that correct?
I mean, I think so. She's a pretty busy lady, but I was able to get into her schedule, so.
Oh, good. Well, thank you for working both of us into her schedule.
I couldn't imagine being
now,
anywhere but here.
Grace, I believe I've been given permission to.
Can you hear me?
That's amazing. Darlene.
Yes.
I can hear you very well.
Okay.
Darlene, you are Grace's mom. I'm Brooke. It is wonderful to meet you.
And
I'm thrilled that you're participating with Grace and myself in this session on Gen Lyme Day. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. We're the lucky ones. So, Darlene, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, the same questions I asked Grace.
Okay.
And I would just love to sit back and listen to your answers, as I'm sure everyone who's chimed in would love to hear your wisdom too.
Okay.
So here we go. First of all, tell our audience, what is your name? Where do you live? And how have you been affected by Lyme disease?
Okay. My name is Darlene. I currently live in the Columbus, Ohio area, have for a while now, originally from the Dayton area. I think Grace probably tells you that all the time. How has Lyme affected our life? Lyme has affected me vicariously, obviously, through Grace. It's had a tremendous impact, as you might imagine. As a mother, our job is to take care of our kids and to make all the bad stuff go away. And guess what? You can't make Lyme disease go away, even if you want to. Doesn't matter how hard I try, doesn't matter how loud I yell, doesn't matter how much I beg, I can't make it go away. Doesn't matter how many doctors I yell at, beg, doesn't matter. So I've had to really learn how to understand that my role with Lyme disease in this house is to support Grace. And some days that means I keep my mouth shut and I just let her tell me what she needs to tell me. Sometimes I might offer advice that may or may not fall on deaf ears. That's okay, though. I get that. But yeah, Lyme disease has had a tremendous impact on all of us, but obviously, especially Grace. And it's really hard to see your kid hurt. And we do that a lot around here. So, yeah, I could probably talk about this forever. Let's just say Lyme disease has had an impact that I would have never imagined could. It has touched every aspect of our life. And when I say our life, not just Grace and me, but, you know, her sisters and dad and grandparents and aunts and uncles. We all love her so much. And we want this stuff to go away for all of you, for all of us. So that's the hope.
It's definitely the hope. Darlene, that was a wonderful answer. And we certainly have moms and dads and people around Lyme disease patients who are listening to this. And so I'm really grateful to hear your perspective. It really helps people like Grace and me, Lyme disease patients, understand what our family members are sort of going through as we deal with this illness. So really special to hear what you had to say, and thank you for that very much. All right, Darlene, question 2. Tell us about your involvement in the Generation Lyme community, and what does this community mean for you?
Well, this community means a lot to me. I think I wrote you guys a direct message a few months ago as it relates to a story that you put up about Grace or through Grace. I don't really know how this whole Instagram thing works. I'm not going to pretend I do. But anyway, that's aside. She, as you know, is extremely involved in a lot of advocacy things as it relates to Lyme, and I'm very proud of her for that. But right before she found Gen Lyme, and I'm trying to think in my head when that would have been, but I don't know. It's a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Grace was in a very, very, very difficult spot. It didn't matter how much we tried to help. And when I say we, I mean the entire family. She was in a very dark place, and I couldn't pull her out of it. I didn't care. I don't care what I tried to do. It just didn't matter. She wasn't hearing it. And I understand she just couldn't. She couldn't hear it because she wasn't around people that truly understood. I'm her mom. I understood she was hurting. I understood she was sad. I understand she was isolated. That wasn't what she needed. She needed people that understood, and you guys understand. So when she found Gen Lyme, all of a sudden I saw glimpses of Grace again. I'd get smiles. I'd get laughter. She would talk about the meetups that she was having with you. And then all of a sudden she was, because this is total Grace form, by the way, she was heading up the meetups. Then all of a sudden she was becoming in other advocacy groups. And now she has literally, I think, 5 whiteboards in her room, keeping track of all the different schedules she has with all the different advocacy groups. But again, that's Grace. But Gen Lyme did that. I mean, it helped her to find her people. And I cannot even begin to express how thankful I am for all of it. I can't. And as far as what I do, I jump in and out of meetings sometimes too. I do. Not enough, but I do.
I'm almost getting emotional just listening to you say that. That was a beautiful answer. And I don't know if you can personally see what's happening in the chat, but you're getting a lot of love from people who are watching this, including one comment that said, "What a wonderful mom." And so seriously, thank you so much, Darlene, for everything you said about Grace and this community. We feel so lucky that she found this community, and I've learned so much from her as I'm learning from you right now. So thank you for everything you just said. Absolutely. And for being such an amazing, amazing parent to Grace and supporting her in all of this.
Thank you all so very, very much.
Our
And
pleasure.
happy Gen Lyme Day.
Happy Gen Lyme Day. All right, I've got one more question for you
Okay.
before you go.
Okay.
If you could say anything to Lyme disease patients and supporters right now while we're sitting here on Instagram Live, what would that be?
Find your people. First and foremost, find your
Love that.
people.
Love that.
And have your dark days. You're allowed. I mean, we all crappy days happen, and crappy days really happen when you have disease that you're fighting every minute of every day. But definitely find your people because they can help. At least they understand. And your family members that don't always understand everything, they love you. They're trying. They really are. So
Outstanding. Darlene, you're a total superstar. I have to tell you that I feel like Grace and I have been talking about this session for maybe a month or so, and it felt so special that that you wanted to participate in this. As a mom, you have such an important voice, as you know, in this community, and I couldn't be more thankful and grateful that you and Grace participated in this really awesome holiday for Lyme patients. So thank you very, very much.
well, thank you. And anytime you need anything, you know where to find me.
I'll try to get into your schedule. Awesome.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, Darlene,
Bye-bye.
thank you so much. Grace, thank you so much. Happy
Thank
Gen Lyme Day.
Happy Gen Lyme Day, guys.
Hi.
Katie.
Good. Happy Gen Lyme Day.
Hi, how are you? Happy Gen Lyme Day. I'm going to gush and just say how wonderful of a person you are. But I also want to highlight that the first time I met you was Gen Lyme Day last year, and I will never forget that. And so it's extra special for me that you wanted to be a participant in this session. And I just want to say how thankful I am that you're literally on screen, and I'm grateful for all you've done for this
thank you for letting me
community.
be
So
a part
thank you,
of this.
Katie. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, just like Grace and Darlene.
Yeah, ready. Fire
Is
away.
that okay? You ready? All right, you got it. Okay. Tell the Instagram Live audience, what is your name? Where do you live? And how have you been affected by Lyme disease?
I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Go Blue. Just got to win. You can't see, but I'm wearing my jersey, so I felt you would appreciate that, Brooke.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
I was diagnosed with Lyme in 2016. Lyme, Babs, and Bart, the whole combination. And I've probably been dealing with Lyme off and on throughout my life. That kind of went undiagnosed for a while. And it wasn't until a concussion that made it pretty clear there was something more going on. So yeah.
Thank you for getting as far as you have, and for doing as much as you have to help other people who may have had similar or different experiences. You're really amazing, Katie. All right, next question. Tell us about your involvement in the Generation Lyme community, and what is this community meant for you?
So my very first time ever showing up to anything Generation Lyme was on Gen Lyme Day last year. And that was actually, I think, in large part due to a video series Fallon, who's an amazing host, had put out like the week or two before, kind of talking about community and the meetups. And I had met other people who had Lyme, but I had never met anyone really my age who had Lyme. And so it definitely felt like something that I wanted to do, and wanted to kind of meet some people and see what it was like. And I wasn't really sure how I was going to kind of feel about it. But like, yeah, the first day, the whole Gen Lyme day, and then the first meetup was just fantastic, and I was hooked. And I think pretty much every week since then, I have been to one of the meetups. So yeah, just absolutely hooked.
That's incredible. I will say on a personal note that anytime you and I are in a meetup together, I get really excited. And it's just been so special. Again, for me on a personal note, to know that you and I have known each other for a year, and that's not even the important part. It's you've met all these incredible other people through Generation Lyme. It sounds like they've had an impact positively on your life, and that's so awesome.
Some of my closest friends have come from this community. It's amazing.
Amazing. Best statement ever. All right. Last question for you, Katie. If you could say anything to Lyme disease patients right now on Instagram Live, what would that be?
I think just kind of reiterating, like, you're not alone, and that what you may think that you're feeling that like no one else will ever understand, like there's someone else in this community who's feeling that way too, who gets that feeling, who's had that symptom, who's said, you know, that whatever it is, who's had to yell at the doctors, who's had doctors say whatever it is negative to them. Like, there's always somebody who's been there and who's felt that. And I think that kind of realizing that and knowing that you're not alone. We have an amazing community, and you know that's something it's indescribable how amazing it is to know that there are other people in the world going through what you're going through. It really is. And yeah, I think community, you have some of like the best people, absolutely, truly, deeply. Like, I love everyone in Gen Lyme. It's an amazing community, and yeah, it's just fantastic.
Hey, you said it best. Gen Lyme may have the best people, and you're one of those people, Katie. So seriously, thank you for your tremendous words of encouragement, and for being part of this Instagram Live. You're such a special person, and I'm grateful that I got to meet you a year ago, and here we are today, chatting on the second annual Gen Lyme Day. So seriously, thank you so much. All right, Katie, you rock. Thank you. Gus.
Hey,
Hey, happy Gen Lyme Day, man. Great to
happy
see you.
Prime Day to you too. You as well.
Um, Gus, you did this last year, I believe. Is that correct?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like a experienced community Q&A on Gen Lyme Day participant.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
seriously, um, you've been a big part of Generation Lyme since about the beginning, and I just want to thank you for participating in this again, and for all the meetups that you've come to, many of which we've been in together. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And of course, thank you for starting Gen Lyme.
Hey, my pleasure. Well, we couldn't do it without supporters of Lyme disease patients like yourself. So it's really special to be chatting with you here on this holiday. All right, you know how this goes.
I do.
Let's get started, Gus. Okay. Tell the Instagram Live audience, what is your name, where do you live, and how have you been affected by Lyme disease?
Yeah, my name's Gus. I'm 32. I'm from Long Island, New York. I've been homebound due to chronic fatigue from Lyme and co-infections and mold toxicity since for like 9.5 years now. But yeah, I wasn't diagnosed until 2019 for Lyme and 2021 for mold. It's not been a fun time, so would not recommend.
Totally understood. Well, you managed to keep a really upbeat attitude and pursue the things that are important to you, like writing. So it sounds like, to me, from my perspective, you've done a great job, despite how
Thank you.
difficult it's all been.
Thanks.
All right. Second question for you, Gus. Tell us about your experience with Generation Lyme, or your involvement in this community, and what does this community mean for you?
Yeah, so I found Gen Lyme in 2019 at one of my like loneliest points in my Lyme journey. Just being sick for so long, I didn't have a lot of people in my life I could relate to anymore. So when I saw a post for a meetup, I jumped on it. It was pre-pandemic, so it was in person. Remember those days?
I do. A long time ago, Gus.
Seriously, like another lifetime. Yeah, there were just four of us, but I'm still in touch with all of them, and a couple have become really good friends. And yeah, the meetup was just so cathartic. I walked out of it with my heart full. And I was also kind of stuck treatment wise. So hearing about like treatments and practitioners that helped other people ended up being a pretty big game changer for me. I wouldn't have been able to continually make it to in-person meetups. So I was pretty happy when the pandemic forced them to go online only. I attended so many of the last couple of years and made so many great friendships. I haven't been able to go to many meetups lately, but it's just invaluable knowing I can hop on a meetup at any day of the week if I need it. And, oh God, they know it's my birthday tomorrow. Oh.
I will admit, I have a notification on my calendar for your birthday, so.
Wow, I feel honored. But yeah, I tell everyone I meet that's struggling with Lyme to come to a meetup, and everyone that takes me up on it absolutely loves it, my mom included. And yeah, I've even become a backup host, which is something I never would have done even a couple of years ago. So yeah.
Well, you're an amazing host of meetups, and
Learn from the best.
Your story that you just told about coming to that first meetup is so inspiring, even to me. And here's why: when we were doing in-person meetups, and I wasn't lucky enough to be at the first one that you came to, but when we were doing those in-person meetups, they were pretty close to my home, so I just had to walk a couple of blocks. And you had to take a train. I don't. You might have had to take another subway,
I
a
took a
taxi.
train and a
I'm not sure, but like it
subway.
was a long. Wasn't it a long journey for you to get there?
There's a train, subway, a shit ton of caffeine, maybe a little medical marijuana for the pain. Yeah, it was quite an ordeal, and it cut into my nap time. I don't skip naps for just anybody, you know.
Well, you made it. You got all the way there, and ever since you've been just such an instrumental member of the community, and you've inspired all of us. So thank you for all of that, Gus. Oh, hey, Ori.
Here's another inspiring member of the
Yeah,
community.
you're such a big member of this community. We all know your cat's name by heart. All right, Gus. One last question for you before you go.
Yeah.
If you could say anything, that be.
Yeah, just that you're not alone. There's a whole community of us out there just waiting to meet you and support you, even though we might not know you right now. So come to a meetup and get to know us. Meetups are just super laid back, and there's no pressure to speak or have your camera on. Um, I wasn't the type to go to support groups or share about my feelings. I really didn't think meetups would be my thing. I'm going to quote the corn kid that went viral. But when I tried it with butter, everything changed. No, but they turned out to
Great
be
reference.
they turned out to be exactly what I needed. So yeah, you just give it a shot.
That's awesome. Gus, we love you. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I personally want to wish you the happiest of birthdays tomorrow, and you know you're in good hands because I saw about 10 people say the same thing. So we're all wishing you a great birthday tomorrow.
Thank you, and everyone in the chat for the birthday wishes.
All right, Gus. Thank you so much for doing this. Happy Gen Lyme Day.
You too. Happy Gen Lyme Day. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Bye, Ori.
It's already out cold.
All right. Well, this was an amazing session. Thank you to Grace, Darlene, Katie, and Gus. It's so inspiring to hear everything that you had to say, and thank you all again for being such wonderful members of this community and for all you do to help Lyme patients. It's really important. And so happy Gen Lyme Day, and thank you for being a part of this.